Hi everyone and welcome to another Doctor Who character building figure review by me, Shots, and today I shall be reviewing one of the character building Dalek figures, and this one is the blue Dalek Strategist from Victory of the Daleks and also several other adventures. Now I got this figure recently from John Lewis for £1.95. I was really happy to get this one while I was there because this is a uncommon figure, which means you probably won't find it as easily as the Doctor, the Cyberman, or the standard Victory of the Daleks, Amy Pond. And I think it is a nice little figure, but I do have some things I don't quite like about it, which I'll point out later in the video. Because before I start talking about the figure in detail, I'm going to show some pictures of the packaging it came in. Now the packaging for this character building figure is just the same as the packaging on all the other character building figures. You've got pictures of the Doctor Who character building series 1 figures on the front. It also says collectible, constructible and compatible in the top left corner where the character building logo also is. And on the back you've got usual helpful product and company information, and it does also state at the bottom of the packet that the Dalek figures do not come with a display base, which is the reason why I did not show you this one with a display base at the start of the video, because the Daleks don't really need display bases because they stand absolutely fine on their own without display bases. And now let's take a look at the Dalek Strategist. Now this is how the Dalek Strategist figure comes in the packaging. As you can see, it is made from many pieces, and when opening up the packet for a figure like this, I'd really recommend being careful because you could lose some of the parts really easily, and then you would have to go looking for those lost parts, or in fact buy a new Dalek Strategist figure altogether. And because the character building figures are put in packets where you can't see the figures, getting another one of these would take quite a long time. Now, yep, this is pretty much all of Strategist down on the floor. I think it looks much better when it's all together, and I'm going to put it back all together now and review it. Okay, so here we have the Dalek Strategist back together again. As you just saw, I did a little time lapse of building the figure, and I think I'm going to start doing that for all the character building figures I get, because I think it's a really nice, quick way of showing how to build the figures nicely and carefully. Now, the Dalek Strategist figure is a really nice little figure in my opinion. I really do like it a lot, and first of all, I'm going to talk about the detail and the sculpting of it. Now, the sculpt of it is exactly the same as the sculpt or parts for all the other character building Dalek figures, but obviously most of the body for this Dalek figure is blue because the Dalek Strategist is blue, and all the other 2010 Daleks are different colours, and I think we'll be seeing all the other 2010 Daleks later in the year, but we do also already have the Dalek drone out in the first wave of character building figures. Okay, so let's take a look at the Daleks. Okay, so here we have the Dalek Strategist figure close up, and we can see that it has pretty much all the same features of the 5-inch Dalek Strategist figure. However, not all of them are painted on, and I'll be talking about that very shortly. But for now, I'm just going to take you through the basic detail. On the head, we've got the two lights, but as you can see, they are blue. They're not made of a transparent plastic, and they haven't been painted grey. I do think it would have been better if they were at least painted grey, so it looked more like they were separate pieces to the head, but they're okay as they are. The eye stalk is pretty good. You've got the main bits coming out of the head, then the two sections in the middle, and then the bits at the end. Now, as you can see, it does have that same eye stalk detail, but it doesn't have a pupil, and I do think it would have been better if the character building Dalek figures did have the pupils at the end of the eye stalks, because they are actually one of my favourite features about the 2010 Daleks. I think they could have at least painted it yellow so it stood out a bit more though. The neck is just pretty basic. You've not got any of the holes inside it like the 2010 Daleks do in the show, but I'm perfectly okay with it just being grey like this, and it is the accurate colour. Then you've got the midsection, which has the weapons of the Dalek, which are very small. They're both very nicely detailed, and they are all black. And then we come to the base, which has all the usual Dalek spheres going in rows of 4 all around the body until you get to the back, where you've got the box for a new Dalek weapon. Now this bit here hasn't been painted on, it is in fact just a sticker, I think. Yep, it's definitely a sticker. I've just put my hand over it. It looks really nice though, and it is very highly detailed, as you can see. That is pretty much all the detail of this figure. As I said before, it's got the same basic features of the 5-inch Dalek Strategist figure, however not all of them are painted. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the figure's articulation, which really isn't that much. The only point of articulation is at the head, where it can turn 360 degrees. The eye stalk and the weapons do swivel, but I'm not really sure on whether that really is a point of articulation. Articulation's okay the way it is. I mean, if this was a bigger figure, the weapons and the eye stalk would be able to move up and down. But for such a small figure, I think just the head movement is absolutely fine. And now I'm going to come to my final thoughts about this figure. And overall, I think the character building Dalek Strategist figure is a really nice addition to my character building figure collection, and I'm very pleased with it. But I do think it would have been better if some more detail was painted onto it, like the pupil at the end of the eye stalk and the spheres painted grey, because then it would look a lot more like the one in the show, and some more features of it would stand out a bit better. It's a really nice figure the way it is. The sculpting and paintwork is really good. I think these character building Dalek figures could be a bit taller though, because if I just bring in a 11th Doctor figure, we can see that they're pretty much around the same height, and in the show the new Daleks are quite a lot taller than the human and Time Lord characters. So another thing that I think could have been better about the character building Dalek figures was if they were a bit taller, but they're fine as they are, but it's just I think they could have had a bit more detail made onto them. And if I was to give the character building Dalek Strategist figure a rating out of 5, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It's a really great little figure, and I'm very impressed with it, but I do think it would have been better if some more of the detail was painted onto it. And that's all I have to say for this review, YouTubers. I think this has actually been quite a short review, but there's not really much I can say about this figure. And my next review will be of another character building figure, and it will be either a Smiler or a Screaming Weeping Angel. I think I'm going to do the Smiler first, because the Weeping Angel figure I got is actually in the Time of Angels set, and I think it would be better if I review a figure that you get in Series 1 on its own, rather than a figure that's actually in the set first. And yeah, that's pretty much all for this video. Shout outs will be added to the video later. And yeah, that's it for this review, and I shall see you again.